Hi, thanks for joining me. Today we want to talk to you about regular self-care. And this is the self-care that you want to notate on your electronic device so that it will remind you to do this at least one time or two times per month. And this will depend on the interaction you have with other people and outside sources. So what you want to do is maintain a nice level, cleared level in your aura. And to do this, you want to take your showers. So you can take your shower and do a cleansing and clearing of your aura every day. Excuse me, but this is where you will do a bath splash for that. So this is regular planned self-care. And what you want to do is going to be a bath splash, and you're going to, when you start it, you're going to do this for 3 or 4 consecutive days, okay? Consecutive days. They have to be consecutive days, right behind the other. You can do them at the same time, approximately the same time. It's a hit and miss. It's not an exact science with the time. So if you take one at 7 o'clock one night, you may take one at 8 o'clock the next night. That'll be fine. Just make sure it's each day. So 3 to 4 days in a row has to be. That's going to jumpstart it. And once you do that, you're going to maintain that clearing by taking a bath splash once or twice a month, one time or two times a month. The 2 times a month will be every 2 weeks. So it's up to you which one you want to do. Now, the amount, how much, it's up to you. Depends, my bath splash, the amount that I use depends on how strong I made my bath splash. I use essential oils and they tend to be really strong. And sometimes when I'm mixing them, I may do a little more of this, a little less of that. I tend to have way more than what I bargained for. So I end up having to enough to do. Sometimes I've made some and I've had enough to do a half a year worth of baths. So it depends. Sometimes I get a little carried away when I'm mixing. But if it's a regular drink water bottle like this, you can use one water bottle per bath, or you can use a half of this bottle for a bath. Remember, this is a bath splash. You get in the shower, you take your shower, you can dry off and then use the bath splash, or you can take your shower and then put this on. Start at the neck area, and the reason I'm saying that is I don't want you to get it in your eyes. Start at the neck area and pour some on. You want to wipe it all over your body, hands, arms, hands, torso, front and back, legs, front and back. Your feet will be standing in it, so you can just put some, rub it across the top of your feet if you like. Do not dry off, air dry, so you can take a fan into the shower with you, bathroom with you, not into the bathtub or the shower. And once you finish, then air dry. You're going to air dry so that the fragrance, the aroma of the bath stays with you. All right, that's what you're going to do. And again, it depends on how you do it. Now, when I make mine, I tend to, I'll use a bottle like this and I'll do 2 out of this bottle. If it's really, really weak, I need to dilute it way down even more. I may just use the whole thing. Just put a small amount in here and of the essential oil mixture and then fill it up with water. So it's up to you how strong you make your bath splash. The main thing is when you're going to do them. Sometimes I'll make my bath splash in a 2-liter bottle. And then when you make it in the 2-liter bottle, if you're going to do 3 days, you can mark this in thirds. So then you have 1, 2, 3. Or if you're going to do 4 days, you come here, just eyeballing it, mark it in half, and then mark this section in half, and this section from here to there, the top, in half. And now you have one that's not quite in half right there. That will be more in half. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections right there. And if you want 7 days, you can mark it differently. You know, just go through and make out 7 sections, trying to make those equal. So what you do is I would pour out this liquid to the line into a bottle like this, a water, regular drinking bottle. Heat this up. I like to warm mine up a little bit, maybe room temperature, not too warm. Heat this up. And the reason I have it room temperature or a little cooler is because I want to make sure I can tell when it hits my body, the temperature is cooler than my shower was, and I can tell I got it all over my body. If you're doing a bath, then you know you add it to your bath water. But I like to do a bath splash because I like to have this fragrance adhere to my skin and me for hours afterwards. And so that's the purpose of that. Make a large bottle, or you can make it in these drink water bottles. It's up to you which way you want. The main thing to remember is you started with having it 3 to 4 consecutive days in a row. Just intuitively decide if it's going to be 3 or 4. I've decided on 3, and when I got to my second bath, I thought, oh no, I need this. This needs to be 4, and so I just divided that portion in half and made, you know, again, and made 4 out of it, 3 more out of it instead. You know, just bump the number up. So 3 to 4 consecutive days. Then you do it once or twice a month afterwards. I tend to use for my base, my starting base, I'll start out with a little rue and vetiver. I may mix those equal amounts of vetiver and rue. So that's my base that I use when I'm doing some serious clearing and I'm not too sure what I'm doing, and that is not spelled correctly. So I'll do half and half of those two, and then I may add something else to that. As you see in my other baths, I tend to do the Epsom salt or some sage or something else that I'll add to it. Just intuitively add other stuff, but I use this as a base, and which means if I use 10 drops of rue, I'll use 10 drops of vetiver. Mix those together. I may add some High John to that, or I may add some Van oil to that. It just depends on, again, intuitively moving along. So I may mix up a nice little batch of this and have it sitting ready. If I mix up a large batch and that I'm going to go for the 3 to 4 consecutive days plus months afterwards, I mix it up in a drink bottle. And remember, you have to add your alcohol to that to break down the oil so that it mixes better with the water. When I do it like that, then it's really heavy in here and I just pour a small amount. What I do then, let me show you what I do. I make you just make it easy on yourself. This is not rocket science and you don't want to be overwhelmed. I'll make this bottle full and then I'll use these lines on the bottle as my bath. This is how many baths I would have out of this one bottle. I messed up that line somewhere. Now this top part would be like that. It's a little more to start out, but I can get probably down here and then up there. And that's if I filled it all the way up to the top. If I just kept it right here to start, then I know here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 baths out of this one bottle. And again, if I use this area up here, I could get 14, 15 baths out of that. And that's because I would have mixed this really, really strong. To say I may have put this much in here. If I put this much essential oils in here, this is super strong. I may be able to get another whole bottle out of this. So you don't need a lot with essential oils. You really don't. They are strong. And then I will be adding water to it. So I would pour out to the line. I would go from this line to this line in another bottle this size and add the rest with water. And that's a bath splash. So I could easily get 14 bath splashes out of this. I will put my essential oil in this to make it up. Add some alcohol to break it down, let that sit for a day or two, then come back and add water. You'll look at it and you'll be able to tell it's really thick and strong. The vetiver and the roux are almost colorless, so they don't have any color. But once I start adding some other stuff to it, maybe the Hyjon, even when you add the alcohol to it, it'll turn it to a milky color. So you can do that. Some of the other oils have color to them, like strawberry is red, but you don't use that for clearing. So um, something else that you would add to this may have some color to it. Even if you wanted to add some herbs into this, you could. If you added herbs into it, I would sit it in the sun, sort of like sun tea, and let it kind of steep and get the essence of the herbs into it. I don't do too many herbs to go down my bath drain. So that's up to you how you want to do it. But that's a way to do this, and you have these nice little markings that tell you how many baths you have. So the main thing with this is to do regular maintenance or clearing. Similar to when you look at your house, you have to constantly dust or sweep because the dust comes from the air. When you look, there's a layer of dust everywhere, and you gotta dust it off. The sand and debris is on your feet. Sometimes you don't see it. Sometimes you dust your feet off at the front door, but when you come in, it's still something on there. And so that's why you're constantly having to sweep your floors. So you want to do a constant maintenance. A nice little light maintenance means you don't have to do an overhaul because nothing is working out for you. All right. This kind of helps you keep everything clear, especially your aura, so that when you're doing any type of metaphysical work, it tends to be moving along smartly and everything seems to be working just fine. All right, so if you haven't done so already, hit the like and the subscribe button to show a little channel love and try this out.